So, welcome to a short introduction to the combination of SmartRecruiters and HirePort. What is HirePort? It's an add-on that you can natively use in SmartRecruiters that allows you to work with third parties, talent suppliers as we call them, in a very easy and efficient way to receive any kind of permanent talent or flexible workforce members, potentials, and manage them from SmartRecruiters just like you manage all other processes. So HirePort has three modules. The first one is supplier collaboration. Let me just show you briefly how that works. So we'll go to our job. Here we see a backend developer position, and we see our candidates in process. And then we also see a new option here, a new feature, external suppliers. And that's actually HirePort embedded in SmartRecruiters. You see you're working with 10 on this specific job. When we click it, we see who those preferred suppliers are that are actually working on this job. And you can also deselect them and revoke access to the working on that vacancy, or you can invite new suppliers to work on it. You can also invite an entirely new supplier to your environment, and you can use master contracts, for example, to make sure that procurement is also happy that they'll be delivering talent within the boundaries of the agreements that you have made. What does your supplier see? They see this, all the information from SmartRecruiters enriched with the information from the contracts, which is also something you can now manage in SmartRecruiters using the HirePort plugin. All the information below is just pulled from SmartRecruiters, and you can also add information that's critical for third parties that you're working with to acquire permanent employees or to help you find that new flexible workforce. All right, then we go back to applicants, and for example, Christopher Morgan came through HirePort, which means a third party proposed him to this vacancy. And on the tab of communication, you see a new little area called supplier chat. And the supplier chat makes it possible to directly from the candidate record in SmartRecruiters communicate with the, for example, external recruiter or someone working at one of your suppliers. So you can say, we'd love to have this candidate on an interview tomorrow at 2 p.m. All right, send. Any reactions, responses will come back here. Also on the right, you see the tags. So automatically based on the agreement that is in place, when a third party proposes candidates and they flow straight into SmartRecruiters, the tags are connected automatically, which you can use in filtering your pipeline and also making reporting. All right, that brings us to the second module of HirePort, which is supplier management. Here we see all the suppliers that we're working with. So there's one view, also your procurement team members or people from finance, or maybe even your CFO could, in essence, have a login to SmartRecruiters and just have a look on all the agreements you have in place. So here I see all my agreements. You can also see different agreements per different country, different agreements per different department. But here's one view where I can see them all. When you click on it, you dive deeper and you see, for example, that Larissa is working at Harmony Staffing, and with Harmony Staffing, you have the agreement of a fixed fee for every placement for permanent employees, 10,000 euros or pounds or dollars fee, a certain guarantee period. All those kind of details are captured here. You can also upload the contract and download it here as well when you have done that. Okay, let's go back. So then on top of that, there's contracts. So in my environment here, as an example, I have a contract to manage permanent hiring, so hiring of employees through third parties. But you can also add any contract here. So you can add contract for freelancers, for example, within your IT department, or freelance, let's say, personnel for your finance department. Can be anything, and you can just capture all the master agreements here and you can make them applicable on a certain job. Or you can say, no, any candidate provided by this candidate automatically fits within the agreement that we have with that preferred supplier. One step back to the suppliers. Like I showed, per job you can appoint them, but you can also say Larissa is so good at biomedical engineering, she can always work on those vacancies. And there's also a tier system, so you can say week 1 to 4 there's preferred suppliers that can work on this. Week 5 to 8 there's a second tier of preferred suppliers working on it after that. Okay. That brings us to the final and third module of HirePort, which is about supplier performance and cost. So here we go to the analytics, and there we see supplier analytics, and that's actually provided by HirePort, embedded in SmartRecruiters. And what we do here we have one overview of all the interactions and all the work that we do together with third parties or talent suppliers, like we like to call them. Let's dive a little bit deeper and review elements here. I can show much more someday later. But here we see, for example, the suppliers. You can filter on role, filter on talent pool, like from IT to sales to data, etc. You can filter on department or geography, and you can filter per supplier. You can also multi-select suppliers to compare them or just view all. Now, when we scroll down, you see how many suppliers in every domain you have. So for example, in marketing, we have 15, and digital marketing also, and email marketing 15. If those kind of vacancies are not filled quick enough, we know that we need more suppliers. And when we go scroll down a little bit, you see that actual performance. So we can compare performance based on average placement fees compared to time to hire. And when you have these kind of insights and you see which suppliers are performing well at the right price, there's two things you can do. You can give certain suppliers a preference. So first, give them a chance to deliver on certain roles to bring down the time to hire. Or you can say we can optimize for suppliers that, for example, work really well, but charge lower fees and hence reduce cost on hiring of permanent employees, but also on your flexible workforce. Secondly, there's the spend. So here we can have a look at spend in time. We can break up again based on geography, department, supplier, etc. And also based on the department, we have a view how much we're spending, and also on the talent pools, for example. And then the final element is the budget. So in HirePort, you see you have $1 million budget in this example to hire permanent employees this year, and 830,000 euros have been spent, 170 still to spend, and this is calculated in real time. So based on the contracts that you can also manage in SmartRecruiters, combined with the actual information and data on a candidate being hired from salary, other elements, and then making the calculation, combining those two, we get this real-time view that helps teams within the organization to really be spot on managing the whole operation. That's it.